welcome to the Starting Line podcast with me, Rich Lee. Welcome back. This is a conversation with undefeated professional boxer and WBA world champion, Nina Hughes. Born in Grays, Essex in 1982, Nina became world champion at 39. Her age now, 41, is a fact every headline likes to point out, but that ignores an incredible amateur career in which she became the 4-time ABA National English Champion. She was the 2-time Three Nations Champion, that's Scotland, Wales, England. She won gold for England in Europe, and she was selected to fight for a spot representing Team GB at the London 2012 Olympics. That's the first time that there was women's boxing at the Olympics. Nina, who was signed to Eddie Hearn's Matchroom boxing promotion, wants to become the undisputed world champion, but along the way, she's been ducked by boxers that seem more interested in their OnlyFans subscribers than boxing. That said, there is a path open in front of her. And within just 3 fights, she could realise her dream of being the undisputed world champion, claiming all belts. So, let's wish her luck, eh? We talked about everything from her upcoming title defence against Cherneka Johnson, and that's in Australia on May 12th, through to US boxing's decision to allow trans women to box against biological females, and lots in between. Life, career, you name it. Oh, and somebody out there, can you change her Wikipedia, please? Because she's not 4'11". That was kind of embarrassing. She is 5'3", and yeah, I went into it. And I said, "Oh, so you're 4'11"? And I was looking at her thinking, "No, you're not." She's like, "No, Rich, I'm definitely not." So yeah, any of you out there that contribute to Wikipedia, go and change that for her. Huge thanks to Nina for making the time for this interview, and not for the first time, enormous thanks to the beautiful Stu Whiffen for allowing us to use his studio, where he also records his phenomenally popular podcast, The MMA Fan Show, and that's with Blake Harrison, who you might better know as Neil from The In-Betweeners. Go and check it out. As well as his shows Off the Beaten Track, Acceptable in the 80s, that's with Starting Line Series 1 guest Cunt in the Gang, and the Hardcore Listing podcast with Chris Glasson. I was actually a guest on there last year, so feel free to dig that episode out. You might enjoy it. I talk about PR stunts and silliness. Follow Nina on Instagram @_Nina Hughes and on Twitter @Nina Smith, her maiden name. So Nina Smith 888. You'll hear her thoughts about social media throughout this episode. And to be honest, she really tickled me. So yeah, keep an ear out for that. Keep an eye out for that. Follow us, that's Starting Line Show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That's Starting Line Podcast on Facebook and LinkedIn. StartingLinePod.com is a website. Email me, hello@startinglinepod.com. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen or watch. There's so many incredible guests that are coming up. You don't want to miss it. I guess all that remains to be said is, without further ado, I bring to you my conversation with the incredible Nina Hughes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. It is a pleasure to have you. It would be amazing to go all the way back. Because I've heard loads about how you got into boxing at 25, was it?
Yep.
25. And that was that at a boxer-sized gym?
Yeah. Me and my friend did a boxer-sized class one day in the gym because we found the gym boring.
Right.
And then she suggested going to a kickboxing gym. Yeah, and we really enjoyed that, but we just did the fitness classes there. I think I had about 5 of my friends, or we used to all go at one point, and I was the only one that stayed there.
Okay.
Just kept training, but I just enjoyed the training side of it, just the exercise, fitness side, nothing.
So it was literally just to keep fit?
Just keep fit. I didn't spar, didn't do anything like that, just keep fit.
So it was just a stand, like an exercise class for, filled with like 20 people, 30?
Yeah, basically. And then I had a friend who went to a boxing gym, and he was like, "Come along with me." So I went along with him one day, and just carried on just.
Did you
training.
meet him at the boxer-sized place?
No, I knew him anyway.
Okay.
And so I went along with him. Still just purely for fitness. And then my coach at the time talked me into it.
There you go. Did you have any interest in boxing, sport before that? Like, were you sporty as a kid?
I was sporty as a kid. I think then once I left college, just stopped all sports.
It's funny, isn't it? Like it can easily happen like that. Was it just other things, just life. What did you do at college?
Randomly did theatre studies, PE, and business studies.
Okay.
Because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do.
And did you have kind of your sights on uni, or was that never an interest?
I did. I think I did at first, and then I sort of lost interest in studying halfway through college.
Absolutely fair.
So I went to work instead.
I dropped out of school, had a kid at 18. So that's, not advised, but, it's a path.
Yeah.
So what kind of family are you from?
So, yeah, I'm an only child.
Okay.
My mum's Chinese, my dad's English. Just lived a quiet life, really.
You're from Grays?
Yeah, from
right?
Grays. Yeah, lived there all my life. And then just recently moved to Billericay.
Not far down the road.
Not far down the road, so...
Were you especially competitive as a kid?
I've always been quite competitive, through school. I always enjoyed sports in school, but I suppose I never took it to much higher level of anything.
What
really.
did you kind of gravitate towards sports-wise?
So, like at school, I played football, I played hockey.
Yeah.
I played hockey like from my area.
Oh, really?
For Thurrock.
Oh, very cool.
And then, that was it, really.
Did you have any interest in kind of pursuing that?
I did, but I don't know, when I was younger, I just wasn't... I suppose my parents didn't really give me the opportunity to take me further. I just went to the local club.
Right.
Like,
So they weren't like pushy sports parents?
Not
They
at
weren't,
all. So
yeah.
I think I'd just go a couple of times a week and that was it. I never really had the opportunities or the options to
What kind of
take
upbringing
it
was
further.
it? Was it like just a...
Just normal.
Normal? Like, what do your parents do?
My dad worked in a bank. My mum worked in Lakeside. Yeah, just...
What's Lakeside?
Shopping centre.
Ah, okay.
She used to work for Topshop. Just a normal...
Just completely
average, normal upbringing.
Nice. Were you kind of popular? Like, what were you like as a kid?
I'd say in the middle.
Yeah?
But I remember someone trying to get out before, did you get bullied at school? No, I was just normal. Pretty quiet, just normal.
I only ask because it's funny, like the way that people come into fighting, whether that's, US, MMA or boxing or whatever, there's always something in you. And I'm intrigued because there's a reason that you'll put yourself through it. You look at a Tyson. We can talk about Tyson later, Christ. But you look at a Tyson, you think, okay, I can see why you fight. Because to put yourself through the camps, to put yourself to be in kind of a semi-camp at all times, how do you find cutting weight? Do you generally...
I love my food, so...
Oh, really?
That's the worst bit for me. Not because I struggle, just because I hate cutting out all the things that I love.
Yeah.
I love chocolate, I love eating, I love going out to meals.
I always say, because I was a personal trainer before I got into PR. So I've always loved the gym, I've always loved training. And I was just saying to Eddie, my producer, on the way up, I was like, have you watched Parks and Recreation?
No.
Okay, it's like an American TV show. Chris Pratt, the
Yeah.
actor. So in Parks and Rec, he was quite heavy set. And then he went and he was in Jurassic Park and he lost a ton of weight, got in like good shape. I think of myself as being I'm like, if Chris Pratt, Parks and Rec, heavy there, Chris Pratt, Jurassic Park, I'm probably somewhere there. And I'm okay with that because I'm like you. I'm like, I like eating, I'm 36 now, I'm like, I'm not bodybuilding, I like to train, but I quite like a glass of wine or three,
I think every time I stop boxing, mate, I put on loads of weight.
So you went to this boxing gym.
Yeah.
And how was it kind of from the off? Were you in love with it as soon
Yes,
as you got into
straight
the place?
away. I've never been one to be able to go to a gym and train myself. So I think
Yeah.
I've always been one that needed to
Go with a friend
like
or-
class or go with a friend,
Yeah.
do classes and stuff. So to motivate me. So I really enjoyed it straight away. I loved the training and I stayed with it. I went regular, whereas my friends gradually dropped out. And when I moved to the boxing gym, purely fitness still, but just enjoyed the training. I think, just letting that bit of aggression
was that
out. Chedwell St Mary. Right. Just letting that little bit of aggression out, punching the pads, punching the bag. Yeah, I loved it.
And how did you get from that to fighting?
Then my coach talked me into starting sparring.
Right.
So I started sparring. I was the only girl in the gym at the time.
Literally the only girl?
Yeah.
So you were sparring blokes?
Yes, I was sparring. They were boys, I'd say.
Right, okay.
Started sparring boys. They were all beating me up. But I really enjoyed it for some reason, even though I was getting bashed up. So I kept going, kept trying it. And then my coach was like, "You're ready to box." And I'm thinking, how am I ready to box? I'm getting bashed up every week by all these kids. He's like, "You're ready to box." And then he took me out sparring to another club to spar some girls that had quite a lot of experience. Yeah. And I did all right against them.
You're kind of like, I've not actually sparred against girls. Yeah. I'm all right.
And then when I did all right against them, and then they'd had like quite a few fights, I thought, maybe I should give it a go. And then, I was like, right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's give it a go.
Amazing. So you were 25, 26 at this time?
26, yeah.
Wow, okay. So quite later to get into boxing.
Yeah.
So were you scared to kind of mix it up in a ring? Like, how
Like,
did you feel first time?
The sparring, obviously, like, going to another club for the first time, I was obviously nervous, sparring girls. But I remember before my first fight, I felt sick for 2 days.
Really?
I was so nervous. I was thinking, what am I doing? I remember going to watch a local show of ours and thinking, I can't get up in front of all them people. Imagine if I get bashed up. And I don't know.
Have you ever had a fight before? As in, like, like just at school or anything like that? Like,
a little scrappy one at school, but nothing
nothing
major.
like, punches thrown?
Yeah, a bit, but nothing major.
So, like, you've been in, like, a confrontational situation before, though, so you knew, like... Because I always say that with, like, the kids that go to the gym my son goes to, like, the MMA gym, it's like, if they're being, if you're being bullied or anything like that, just come to the gym and realise when you spar, it's okay to be close to somebody. It's okay, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're probably going to get a smack in the mouth. And you'll be okay. Your nose might hurt, but you'll be okay. I think a lot of kids that get bullied don't want to fight back because they're worried about what might happen. They're worried about getting in trouble and all that stuff. And I think it's wonderful to be taught that it's okay to be confrontational if you need to be. I mean, you've got kids, you said 9 and 7.
Yeah.
Like, both boys?
Both boys, yeah.
Have they had any trouble at school yet?
No, they're really quiet and not boisterous at all.
So do you think if the time comes, they'd kind of like not let themselves be bullied?
I don't know. I try and drum that into them, but I know, like, if they say, "Oh, someone's punched me" or "Someone's kicked me," I'm like, "What did you do about it?" And they go, "Nothing." They will always go, "Nothing."
That's hilarious. So I know it's not going to win any parenting awards, but I always say to my kids, if somebody puts hands on you, you hit them back. I'll be so disappointed if you don't hit them back, because the second you let somebody do that to you, they know they can. And I think, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get in trouble. The teachers will tell us off."
My kids are they won't do anything
I'm like,
at this age.
if the teacher tells you off, I'll praise you doubly.
You want them to stick up for themselves and not get bullied.
So.
Yeah,
I think so. So you weren't like scrapping loads as a kid or anything, but you in your first fight, can you remember who you fought?
Yes, I remember. I can't remember her first name, but I remember her surname was Castillo.
Right.
And I know, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God, she's like this."
Yeah, this international.
I just read too much into her name, and I remember like just her name doing my head and like just thinking too. I just remember like overthinking everything just based on I didn't even know what she looked like, nothing about her. I think she'd had one fight, won it.
Right. So she was pretty much as new to it as you were, but you let it.
But just the name, the name freaked me out.
We should see what she's done. Do you know if she went on to fight more? As in,
no, she did. She did carry on as an amateur for a little while, but then I think she stopped.
Interesting. How'd it go?
Yeah, I won my first one.
Won.
I think that made a big difference.
Points, knockout?
Points. I remember being come round to her being absolutely shattered, and then looking at her and thinking, "You're more shattered than me," and that gave me that extra bit of encouragement to carry up.
That's amazing. So, how many rounds was it? Was it
3 2-minute rounds?
3 2-minute rounds, and first one was a win.
Yeah.
So was that properly bug? I've got the bug.
I remember
I need to come back.
On like clan. I was buzzing for days, just walking around. Never been so happy. Like I've never been so nervous, but also never had that buzz from my first fight.
And was that at
bantamweight? I think that was at featherweight actually.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, where I'd just started, but I think I only weighed in at nearly bantamweight because I'd lost 2 kilos through nerves. Where I was so nervous.
Oh my God! Because what's feather? Like what's
50,
that female?
I think I was matched at 57 kilos for my first fight, and then I think I'm weighed in at 55, where I was so nervous.
I just train a lot of training as well. You know what I mean? It's funny because like £4 for me, I could probably put £4 on the next hour, but like 4 or 5 pounds is it's quite an advantage, I guess. So did you go in? Was she heavier?
I can't even remember now.
No?
I think she was heavier. Yeah.
Yeah. What did it feel like when you were in there?
It felt really surreal. Like I don't know. I remember everything not feeling. It was a weird feeling, and in being in that ring, nothing feels like it's completely different to sparring.
Yeah. How many people were watching that first fight?
I remember it was a home club show in London, West London somewhere. But I had quite a few people. I had a big minibus full of people come up to watch, so I had a nice support. Nice.
How did the first fight become the second, become the third?
That was it. Once I won that first one, I wanted to had another one, second one, won that, and then entered into the novice championships.
Right. Okay.
And then my third fight was in the quarterfinals of the novice national championships, which is like under 5 fight national championships. Won that, and just kept going, and then I won the novice championships that year. And just
you are 4-time ABA national English champ at 51 and 54.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible. The Three Nations champion. What's the Three Nations?
So that's like the winners of the national champions, like of England, Scotland, and Wales.
Right. Okay.
Each other.
Wow. Okay. So English champ and the Three Nations champ. So, is it true you had 75-ish amateur fights?
Yeah.
Because I think
it was 74 exactly.
74. Because we'll jump onto it, but I think a lot of the headlines around you have been, she's 39, it's 38, 39, 40, it's never too late. It's like, but you had 74 amateur fights, and I think, to put yourself in the ring 74 times. Do you know your record?
Yes, I think 74 fights. I think I've lost 14.
Any knockouts?
Few stoppages.
So no
knockouts. It's harder in the amateurs.
And that's an incredible record. Any draws?
No, you can't get draws in amateur.
Ah, really? I did not know that. Okay. So, you've been going 20, 30, 40 fights and you're clearly pretty good. What are you thinking then? So how long did it take from there through to being selected for the Team GB?
It all came around really quick. I remember my coach, Chris Oak, at the time, we was going around trying to get as much experience as possible, always going on trips to Sweden, just to get more experience and to get more fights. And then, I'd only been boxing 18 months when I got a call up for selections for the GB squad.
That's incredible.
And I was against a lot of more experienced girls that had been boxing for England for years.
Yeah.
And I went for, I think it was like over a period of 6 months the selections went on for. But I was confident now where I was doing, because obviously you're sparring with all the other girls. So I was confident that whilst in the selections that I was doing really good in the sparring against all the other girls.
Had you fought anybody on the way to it that were in the team?
I think there was a couple of girls I'd fought that were also selected. No, not selected, but at the selections. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get selected. And there was 7 of us that got selected.
What was training like?
Hard.
Yeah. And where did you train?
In Sheffield.
Oh wow, okay, so quite a travel as well.
Yeah, so at first we started off every other weekend, and then we got moved to the podium squad, so then I was training full time, and we used to travel up to Sheffield on a Monday, come home on a Thursday.
And it was all training towards the 2012 London Olympics, where it was the first time that female boxing...
Yeah, so it's the first ever female squad they'd created.
Which is incredible. How did it feel when you got selected for it?
Oh, it was an amazing feeling. I was so happy.
It's such a quick turnaround from stepping into the ring and proving yourself quite quickly.
It all happened really quickly. Like I wasn't sure. Obviously you get gist things when you're sparring, but I wasn't sure because of my experience if I'd get selected over other people. But it was nice.
How many amateur fights do you think you'd had before you got selected?
I think it was about 15.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't many.
So they'd seen something.
Yeah.
Who was the coach at the time?
So I think Rob McCracken was he got recruited as we were in the middle of our selection.
Right. And I guess, it's the dream, isn't it, to be selected for the 2012 London Olympics now. I was reading, and somebody said, you'd almost certainly have gone to the 2012 Olympics, but for the misfortune of competing in the same weight class as future double gold medalist Nicola Adams.
Yeah.
And then I thought, of course I know that name. And then you think of everything that Nicola Adams has achieved.
Yeah.
What happened there? So you didn't end up getting selected for the final, to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, I think it was just experience. Like, obviously I got selected for the GB squad, but I was still, at the time, there wasn't that many tournaments for females because it was a new thing.
Yeah.
So, because there's so many tournaments, so all the girls get to go to them all. There was so few tournaments then, Nicola would always get selected over me to go to most of them. So I was lacking that international experience, where I'd had so few bouts.
So it wasn't like there was one final trial, one kind of...
No, it was just overall, and obviously she kept winning. She was doing well. She had the experience. So.
She's... What, you're 4'11", is that right? How tall are you?
5'3".
5'3", okay.
4'11".
Something says that you're 4'11".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I'm not that sure.
It's not Wikipedia, because I mean, what's she? She's 5'4", I think.
I think so,
yeah. Because that was going to be my point, was that she was that much taller than you, but she's not.
No,
so,
she was
okay.
very similar.
That gets easily edited and cut out to make me look less stupid. Cheers, Eddie. But honestly, I was like, 4'11"?
Yeah,
I was
no,
like, because I remember
midget.
meeting you, and I was like, surely not. But I was like, well, who am I to question Wikipedia or whatever it was?
I don't know where they get some of the information from.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, she did then go on to win the first ever, I guess.
Yeah,
women's.
so you can't knock the decision. Obviously, I missed out to someone. I think, obviously, I had like less than 20 fights at the time, so I'd gained my experience as the years went on, and that was the main thing I was lacking, was experience at the time.
Did it in any way make you want to turn away from the sport, not getting picked?
Yeah, I did. I stopped boxing for 3 years.
But not then, you didn't, did you? Or?
No, when I come off GB, once I didn't get selected, I was released from GB because they said I was too old for the next Olympics.
Right. Which is hilarious.
Said, I know. I think if I was younger, they would have kept me on to develop me because I was inexperienced. But as I was old.
How did you feel? Because she then went on, I think she was nominated in Sports Personality of the Year that year.
Yeah.
MBE, which became an OBE, and all these things. Like, did you look on and feel like that could have been me, that should have been me? Did you? Credit
to where she's due. Like, she deserved where she got to. She was good. She won everything up to that. So, yeah, obviously it's gutting because you think, oh, that maybe could have been me. But obviously at the same time, she was too experienced for me at the same time. Right. So, yeah, it was just, I enjoyed the experience of it all.
So
like,
it was 3 years, was it? 2009, I think I read that you went into the kind of selection pool-ish. And then obviously to not quite get selected. So was it at that point you just said, yeah, I'm done? Yeah, so when I come off GB, I started trying to train back in my local club, but then the motivation had gone, like going from that level of training full time to back training in the club. I wasn't enjoying it. I was finding it hard. What were you doing for work? Like, how were you affording to get up to Sheffield and all that stuff? I was working for Credit Suisse at the time, and they was really supportive. So they paid me 50% of my wages still, and let me not work. And then obviously I got lottery funded as well through the GB squad. Yeah. So hang on. So they paid you to not work.
Yeah, 50% of my wages. So
I guess it's like it's one of those things where it makes them look quite good if they're involved in in the sport and supporting really you. And what did you do at Credit Suisse?
Legal secretary.
Is that what you still do?
That's what I do.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I do enjoy it actually.
I mean, that's quite a while to be doing that now, I guess. 20.
Yeah, I think I've done a similar job since I've left school.
Yeah.
College.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
Oh, I don't never.
Did you not have Did you not think, I want to be that?
That's why I did such random A levels at college because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
So you think, like you said, you did drama, or was it performing arts? Theatre studies. Did you have any kind of designs on going and performing, or
Yeah, when I was younger, which I don't know why, because I'm actually quite shy to do things. So I have no idea why I wanted to do that, but yeah, I really had no idea.
How do you reflect on those 3 years with the GB team?
Brilliant experience. Obviously, learning the training, was training 3 times a day, was travelling all around the world, different countries, different training camps. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Did you get close to the other team members?
Yeah, really close.
Do you speak to any of them still?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So, like, obviously, if you look at the people now that are world champion, I was on the same squad with Savannah Marshall, Natasha Jonas, Chantel Cameron. Yeah, it was all on the squad together. So,
but you decided, right, I'm done. Was it? I've read that it was, left to start a family. Was that literally? Was it?
Yeah. I'd lost the motivation, so I'd stopped boxing.
Yeah.
And then decided to start a family. Few years, got pregnant, had my first child. And I thought, right, I need to go back to the gym because I'd put on loads of weight. All I'd done was eat throughout pregnancy. And When
you say loads of weight, do you remember what you got to?
4 stone. I put on.
You put 4 stone on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, was massive.
With a 4'11" frame, 4 stone.
I was waddling around.
Yeah. Was that 4 stone at the end of the pregnancy? Or?
Yeah, I remember being about 80-something kilos.
Really? Okay. So you thought, need to get into the gym. And was that with friends again, or was that back at straight?
Just went back to my amateur gym, and I was like, right, I'm going to start training. Well, to be fair, during that time I had a break, I was coaching instead in my amateur gym, so I was always down there. Yeah, I did all my level 1 and level 2 amateur coaching course, so I just helped out.
I guess you've got a ton of experience then. So were you taking other boxers through the amateurs as well?
Yeah. Just helping out where I could. I remember going to Sweden with him as a coach this time. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that part.
Did you think that was going to be something you did for a long time?
Yeah, I thought, where I didn't have the motivation to box myself anymore, I thought I'd go into the coaching side, and I enjoyed that. But yeah, then I was like, right, I need to lose some weight. So I started training again, and I thought, right, you know what, the only way I'm going to motivate myself to lose the weight is if I set myself a target. So I thought, I'm going to have one bout, and that's it.
So it's just, I need to get myself back to weight.
Yeah, because I thought, if I don't set myself a bout, I probably won't lose.
Back to what? Back to 54?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. From 80.
Yeah. But obviously, I ended up, I think, having my first bout back at 57.
Right,
even that was hard to make.
Christ, that's like 20, 25, 26, like...
Yeah.
Maths eludes me for a second, but, you know, did you say you got to 84? So we're saying...
It's about 84, I think, about 84, 85 kilos.
Right, okay. That's a ton of weight to lose. I mean, how quickly did that come off?
I can't remember... I had after my first baby, I had my first bout back. I think it was like 7 months after.
Right, okay. So you kind of had a good 6-7 months to get yourself in. And like, were you doing anything particularly different, or was it literally just being a bit more disciplined, I guess,
and
turning up to train?
And just trying to diet.
Yeah. So how, from being back in the gym training, how did you then get to that first fight, like that first fight back? Like, was it a case of like how we matched up and all those things?
Yeah, it was just training hard, trying to get the weight down mainly, trying to get everything back, and then What
were you thinking? Were you thinking, right, just one more?
Just one more, and that's it.
One more win. Was that one more win? Like, did it matter to you to win, or was it just to have a motivation?
I always want to win.
Yeah.
I think that's that competitiveness. I don't like losing. Just one more win, and then I thought that would be it. I didn't think I'd carry on. Well, I thought being having a baby too much.
Was it then a couple more? Was it then competing in the amateurs for a few more years after that? Yeah,
so I had that win, and I was like, I'm still enjoying it.
I fell back in
love. I fell baell in love with the sport again. I was enjoying the training. I think it's like it was like a little break as well, going to the gym, like for your mental state as well. Yeah, of course.
I mean, you're a first time mum.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
very full on.
Super full on.
So I think it was like going to the gym a few times a week was a nice little break.
Yeah.
I had my first one, and that's it. I was hooked again. I fell back in love with the sport, and I wanted to carry on.
So then you had a couple more years until your next child?
And then when I got pregnant again, I trained throughout my pregnancy because I knew when I got pregnant, I knew that I wanted to carry on. And after my second child, I was back in the gym 3 weeks later, and I had my first bout back 4 months after, or 3 months after, I think.
At what point did you start thinking, okay, I'm 34, I either put this to bed or I keep going and go professional? The thought of going professional never even crossed my mind. I was literally just doing it recreationally, but obviously competing. But then I was still getting picked for England. I remember the last week of my maternity leave for my first child, I got picked for England. I went to Germany. And I boxed at featherweight as well. And I was thinking, am I going to be too small for featherweight internationally? And I come back with a gold medal. I was like, in my last week of maternity leave, I remember I flew back on the Sunday. I had to go back to work on the Monday after a year out with a massive black eye. I was going to ask, what was it like turning up to this club?
I had the worst black eye ever. And I hadn't seen anyone from work for a year. And I've turned back up at work after a year with a big black eye.
It's like that scene in Fight Club where everybody's just walking around and it's like, what's going on there? But everybody knew what you did, right?
So I got back into it that way.
Yeah.
And but it was just recreational. I felt no pressure. Like I used to get so nervous when I was on a GB squad because there was so much pressure of having to perform. If you didn't perform, like whether you'd get kicked off the squad, and there's always that pressure. Whereas when I come back after having 2 kids. There was no pressure.
You didn't feel it?
No, I stopped getting nervous. I remember first bout back, I didn't even get nervous, and I was thinking, God, this is unusual.
Is that, do you think, because you've made your point? you know?
Yeah, maybe because I didn't put any pressure on myself. I was just doing it for fun, and maybe because I'd done all the experience. I think as you're coming up, you're always wondering if you're going to be in against someone that's too good for you. Are you going to get bashed up? But I think I'd experienced so much. I'd boxed everyone around the world, the best in the world.
Yeah.
That I'd had that experience, and I'd always, whether I won or lose, I always held my own, and I was always fine. So I think that part, and there being no pressure, just doing it for a bit of fun.
So why then put the pressure on yourself to go professional?
Well, yeah, I was just literally, I wanted to do one more ABAs and then retire and win, and I lost in the final, and I felt like I lost. If I'd have lost because of a better person, but I was so unhappy with my performance. Right. That I just felt like I couldn't give up on that performance. So I thought, right, I'm going to do one more ABAs, one more national championships, and then I retire. Yeah. And then lockdown happened.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And then, I was like, obviously running and training through lockdown.
You were trying to do what you could.
Try and do what I could, but no one knew how long it was going to go on for. Amateur gyms were shut. And then that was when female boxing started to go on the TV more. And I was watching girls that I'd sparred or I'd beat on the TV, and I was thinking, I could still do this. And then the pro gyms were open, amateur gyms were shut, and I thought, you know what? I don't know whether I'm going to get anywhere, but I thought, if I try and I don't get anywhere, at least I know I have no regrets. I've tried. I thought if I don't try, I'm going to sit here thinking, what if? But
your last performance was a performance you weren't especially happy with.
Yeah.
So you kind of still...
I just feel like I couldn't give up.
I want to do... Yeah.
Yeah, so I went into a pro gym.
Had going pro cropped up before as an idea, or had any coaches said, oh, Nina, we should do this?
Yeah, my previous manager, Lee, he'd said to me before about going pro, and I was just like, I cannot be asked to sell tickets.
You know, in the first series, we talked to still undefeated boxer, a guy called Shabir Haidery, phenomenal story, kind of fled Afghanistan, you know, as a young boy and had a harrowing journey. And so then, you know, when I was talking to you earlier on about like motivations to fight, this kid's like, you know, I've got all the anger and aggression I need, but I see how hard it is for him to, you know, how relentless you have to be in the pursuit of selling tickets.
People don't realise, like, if you've got a massive contract or the glitz and the glamour, you're okay, but people start off in small hall shows. It's really hard. You have to sell enough tickets to fund your opponent, let alone to make any money yourself. So most of the time,
it's a really odd business.
You have to sell enough just to pay for your opponent. I mean, your opponent probably cost about £1,500. So you've got to sell enough. Did it come
naturally to you to kind of go out to sponsors and things like that, or?
No, see, that's why I always thought, I don't think I'll be able to sell tickets. Like,
were Credit Suisse still being quite supportive? Or?
No, so when I come off to GB Squad, I got made redundant from them.
Right, okay.
So I got a new job, but I never thought I could sell tickets, but surprisingly, I always did all right. For my first one, I was dreading it. I was thinking, I'll probably only do about 20.
What was it, like Facebook club? What was the...
Yeah, everyone just seemed to get behind me, and it was really nice. Like, all my friends, family, people like from years ago that I hadn't spoke to, were all like I think a lot of work colleagues from my work now, they all came.
I love it when you can see that somebody's got a goal. And people will crowd around people that have goals. You know, positivity begets positivity, and you know that's. I was
quite surprised that I always managed to do over 100 tickets, so that was what I was dreading
was that the
most.
goal? Was it?
Yeah, the goal was always 100 tickets to be able to pay for everything. But it happened. I was thinking, I could only do like 20, 30, but surprisingly, everyone got behind me, and it was nice.
So, can you remember your first professional fight? I'm sure you remember it, but you know, talk me through it. So, where was it?
York Hall.
Yeah.
First professional fight was like journeywoman Claudia.
Yeah.
I was just really excited to make my pro debut. And first time, no head guards, smaller gloves.
Yeah, and you won on points.
Won on points. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy with your performance on that one?
Yeah, I was happy with my performance.
Did it do away the upset you had with your previous?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Obviously, the main thing, I knew I was only fighting a journeywoman, but the main thing was to make sure you go out and perform and look good. And so, I was really happy.
Journeywomen and journeymen blow my mind. I'm like, why put yourself through that? Like, you know, because I've seen a good few, you know, being a watcher beer, and you know, you see on the card, you see these people there, and you see people like so many fights and so many losses, and you think, are they doing it to help the next generation come through? Like, what's the...
Yeah, both that and money, I suppose.
I mean, it's always good. Yeah.
Like, if you're a good journeyman and you're not getting hurt and you're not getting stopped and you're going out every week or every other week, like, you can earn a lot better money than most lower level professionals that are on the rise, because you're getting paid every week and you don't have to sell tickets because you're the one that being brought in.
So, it being professional, can you remember what you earned from that first fight?
Next to nothing.
That's the thing, right? Because again, talking about boxing in general, people think once you're pro, wow, you made it.
A few £100 probably, yeah.
To put yourself through the camp you inevitably would have gone through, all that to get to that ring.
Yeah.
Your second fight was also at York Hall.
Yep.
And your first
stoppage. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to stop her because she was tough. She was a tough journeyman. She'd only been stopped a few times before. So I was preparing. I stepped straight up from a 6-rounder. My second one was going to be an 8-rounder. Mm-hmm. And I just remember seeing her on the floor and I thought, oh. I didn't even realise the shots I hit her with for her to go down.
What would you describe your style as?
Busy, aggressive style.
Busy, aggressive, front foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, busy, aggressive. I like that. Would you still describe yourself as that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think I'm a busy, aggressive fighter, but I think I can box as well. I'm an all-round. I feel like I can box when I need to and fight when I need to.
So you quite like getting kind of up in people's faces?
Yeah.
You said, and we're talking about professional, we're talking about selling tickets. You said in an interview that being quiet gets you nowhere in boxing. And you felt like you had to get on social media. People have been telling you to do it for ages.
Yep.
But you don't really want to. It's not something I enjoy. I really wouldn't post anything if I didn't feel I had to. When I'm finished with boxing, I'm deleting it all and I'm forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same way?
Yeah. I can't be bothered with all this social media thing half the time, but I know you have to be able to build your brand, to be able to get the fights. Like, it's in this professional boxing, it's not about how good you are, how talented you are. It's about how entertainment you are, how many tickets you sell. That's all part of it.
Now, I am a PR man. I guess I run a PR agency. I help build brands and people and things like that. How do you feel about the way that women's boxing is often or female boxers often promote themselves?
Depends what way, what ones you're talking about.
I mean, you know exactly what ones I'm talking about. You know exactly who and the kind of promotion. I mean, even your next fight with
Cherneka.
Cheeks. She did that thing. She's there with body paint on at the weigh-in, and just body painting a thong and things like that. Now, how do you feel about that for boxing in general? I mean,
each to their own. Everyone's got their own way of promoting themselves. Everyone's got their own brand, their own thing. I'd say it's unfair that they're the ones getting the opportunities for doing that.
Do you think much better boxers are getting passed over?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where it becomes unfair, where the better boxers are getting less opportunities.
Do you think that it's similar in the men's game? Do you think it's the chopsy ones?
I suppose the loud ones, it is in some ways, the loud ones
they don't have
always...
to get their kit off, do they?
Yeah, they don't have to get their kit off. It's a different way, but the ones that are loud, that create a name for themselves, are the ones... That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that social media is something you're not, you don't especially love. But your fight with Jamie Mitchell came about because of Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Because she said that she was inactive. You said, I'll give you a fight. And then it got weird from there, right?
Yeah.
With some now deleted tweets. Do you remember what they said?
About how she was going to break my neck, snap my neck, and, I don't know,
smash your teeth in.
Yeah, smash my teeth in, stuff like that. But I was always respectful. I never said anything. All I said was, give me a chance, I'll fight you.
Yeah. I mean, what was she? She was your fifth fight, I think?
Fifth fight, yeah. I remember I'd only had 3 at the time when I...
yeah, because you were fighting Flora while you were still...
The WBA wouldn't sanction the world title fight unless I'd had one more as well.
Right, okay. I mean, you won the Commonwealth title against Tyson.
Yep.
How did that feel? Like, you're 3 fights in.
Yeah, boxing for my first title. I remember being a bit nervous for that one because it just meant so... I think I wanted it too much. And I learned a lot from that because I felt like my performance wasn't good because I wanted it so much. I was too eager that I forgot about all the tactics and I forgot about all my boxing skill, and I was just trying to kill her in the ring. So my boxing went out the window a bit, but it's part of the experience, and I learnt loads from that fight. And then the next one, I took my time, and then even for my world title fight, I was so much more composed because I'd already been in that experience of being in a title fight.
Yeah.
that I knew what to expect, and I knew how to stay composed. I knew what I did wrong, and I knew not to make them mistakes again.
What does a world look like where you are a bit more aggressive on social media? Possibly, like, I mean, you weren't aggressive with Jamie at all, but you started the conversation, and people kind of pile in, don't they? And everybody loves to watch a fight, so like both actual and on social. Like, do you just not have it in you to be that kind of like, I'll scrap everybody, I'll fight? Do you think you'd have been given more opportunities if you were more willing to be that kind of Ebanie Bridges type character?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to be loud in this sport. You need to create a massive profile for yourself. And I get why people do it, because it does get you further. But
when did you sign with Matchroom? That was December 22,
it was all part of the being given the opportunity for the world title fight.
Right, okay.
So it was like, if you win, Matchroom gave me the opportunity for the world title, and if I won, then they'd carry on. Well,
you fought 5 times in a year. I think, in a 12-month, not 11-month period, you fought 5 times. And since then, you fought that once against Katie Healy.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to get to here, and it's lots of people that listen to this, watch this, aren't necessarily super boxing fans. They're interested in the stories of success and how you get to those things. So it's kind of like trying to describe the industry, I guess, to understand. So you were signed with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom.
Yeah.
He's got some names on his books in Ebanie, who is well known for essentially getting a kit off. What did she hold? Was it the IBF?
IBF, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the fight you wanted.
Yep.
And that's the fight you thought you were going to get.
Yeah.
Why didn't it happen?
She didn't want it.
Because she didn't want to lose.
Simple, yeah.
Do you think Ebanie Bridge, she just doesn't want to lose to me?
Yeah, she 100%. I've been told by a lot of people she don't want to fight. She obviously wasn't confident about beating me, and she didn't want to fight.
It's just funny because she talks such a big game.
Yeah.
Even now, there was something not long ago, and she was like, "Oh, I'm in your head."
Yeah.
It's like
I've got no problem with what she does in and out the ring. Like, what she does, she's created a brand for herself. She's done really well for herself that way. But my issue was, don't say you want to fight everyone and you want to be undisputed and you want to be unified champ when it's just all talk and you don't actually be a fighter, be a real fighter. Like, if you're going to say them things,
comes your way.
Take it. But she's just all talk. She just wants easy fights. She's created a brand for herself. She's not a real fighter. She does all that stuff for her OnlyFans, which is fine, but don't go around saying you're a real fighter and you want to become undisputed when it's not true.
It was basically in an interview not that long ago. Talking about a fight with Astrid Wetz. She said, "You know what I do? I'm a self-promoter. I get people to talk about me. It is what it is. I got people talking. It got me more OnlyFans subscribers. Keep coming. Trust me, my OnlyFans is better than Astrid Wetz." Which you just think,
anything for a pound.
Anything for a quid, right?
Yeah, basically that's where she's at. I think it's anything for money.
It's a short,
fair enough. Career. If that's what you want to do and you just did it for the money, fair enough. But don't make out that you're the best. She used to say she's the queen of the division. Yeah. She wants to become undisputed when
she would say that. I want to become undisputed, which would mean having to fight you, as well. And that just didn't seem like there was any interest in that. What do you think about Misfits as a?
I think there's no harm in it, but it's, as long as it's kept separate. Like, how can a former professional active boxer be calling out a Misfits porn star? Like, I get it. If it was the other way around and she reacted to it, fair enough. You're going to defend yourself if someone's calling you out. But why would a professional world champion? I just think they're two different things.
Yeah.
Like, don't class Misfits boxing as professional boxing. They're two separate things. There's no harm in it. They fight each other. Professionals fight each other. Yeah,
but there is that weird bleed now where this OnlyFansification of boxing, where even Cheeks is, she did that whole shirtless thing was another OnlyFans thing, and I just think, like, I know you're not a mother of a daughter, but how do you feel about that for kids? I don't mean to be think of the children.
Yeah, I think with the OnlyFans side, that's for their subscribers. Do what you want. But I suppose when you're on a public stage in front of thousands of people, you'd rather your kids not look at that, wouldn't you?
I think so. I mean, I understand again. It's a potentially short career. Injury could happen at any moment. While
people are making the most of what they can.
While you've got a camera on you, do what you can with that attention, right? But it just feels a tiny bit like it's it feels like there's a real unfairness to it and a disparity in the women's game and the men's game in particular, because women are expected, you know, she's there going, oh, you've got 2,000 whatever followers, and it's like, fuck off. Like, you know, but I'm not.
She's trying to bug me off for having 2,000 followers, and I was like, someone come out with the best comment, Jesus only had 12.
That's amazing.
Which I thought was loads, but I couldn't care less how many, like, I'm not in it for the followers, I'm just in it for myself, seeing how far I can achieve. I want to fight the best and see where I can go from that.
Do you care about social media comments? Like, do you read them?
I do read them, but I don't really read too much into them.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever had any, like, other than fighters, have you ever had kind of people giving you a hard time on social or anything like that?
No, you get a few negative comments, obviously. Like, I probably shouldn't have done it before my world title fight. I was looking at socials and there was so many negative comments.
Well,
people like
there was a Twitter poll.
Yeah,
97% of people said that Jamie would win.
Yeah, I was thinking I probably shouldn't have read that, but to be fair, that just gave me more fire to prove everyone wrong. Everyone just thought I was too old, too inexperienced, because obviously they were just looking at me having 4 professional fights.
Yeah, not thinking again.
40-year-old, they say 4 professional fights. What hope does she have?
Yeah. So, I mean, even local press, you know, local and national press, focused on that. Like, did you feel like, yes, I know I'm 40, but you know,
I still was confident in myself, and I suppose that reading them comments gave me more fire to prove everyone wrong. So if anything, it spurred me on more.
I guess, you know, winning that WBA, would you say that was the highest point in your career to that point?
Yeah, 100%, definitely. Yeah. Proving everyone wrong, being world champion, it doesn't get much better than that.
It's amazing. I mean, moving on from social then, what's your relationship with Eddie like now? Because you weren't, you know, with the promotion, was it 12 months, let's say, and you've just signed, not a couple of months back with
Lou DiBella.
With DiBella, of course. So was it an amicable?
Yeah. There's no. At the end of the day, it's a business. I get it. Like, Matchroom only wanted the big fights, and the only big fights for me in this country was Ebanie Bridges and Shannon Courtenay. Yeah. Ebanie Bridges didn't want to know. Shannon Courtenay pulled out of one fight and was offered 2 other fight dates. Yeah. In that 11 months where I've been waiting for a fight, she was offered. They were trying to make the Shannon Courtenay fight, and obviously she kept turning them down. So there was nothing. There was no other big fights.
Fight,
yeah, they didn't want to promote you to fight anyone, like any unheard of person. Like,
because you got a mandatory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, my mandatory was an unknown Costa Rican girl, so they wasn't interested in promoting the fight. And there's no hard feelings. It's a business at the end of the day. It's all about money, and that's where
it's just frustrating that it couldn't happen. That, you know, they couldn't be.
It was really frustrating for my part, but yeah.
Was it money, do you think, or was it literally just I don't want my reputation tarnished by losing, like for Ebanie and Courtenay as well, like, you know.
Yeah, just. I think Ebanie didn't want to risk it unless it was. She was asking for ridiculous money.
How much
otherwise,
was she wanting?
I don't know how much she wanted, but she wanted. Eddie even said she wanted deluded money, like
really?
Money that just wasn't ever going to happen.
Yeah.
To fight me, so she's really pricing herself out basically.
Yeah.
And then Shannon kept saying she wanted to fight, but.
Again, it's one of those things, it's what you say and what you do, right?
Yeah. We've sparred before, so I think she knew it was a hard fight.
Oh, really? And, how'd you get on in sparring against her?
Yeah. I was sparring, but I was very confident from that, from my ability that...
You, I guess, having the WBA, there are 3 other belts on the ring that you want. Yeah. How do we get there?
Well, you got Dina, who's now got... Two of them, and now Yoshida's got the IBF, having beaten Ebanie. So, because Dina's got 2 of them, I always wanted the IBF first, so we could go into a massive undisputed fight.
That'd be a phenomenal fight to make.
I mean, you got that Estrada, CNS Estrada fighting this weekend against Yuki Val. And they've both got 2 belts each, so it's an even match going in. It's a massive fight. It makes it much more of a bigger fight than one having 3 and one having 1. Yeah. So that's the route we always wanted to go down. Get the IBF first. Yeah. And then fight for Undisputed.
Which means Yoshida. I mean, has that conversation been had?
Yeah, definitely. She's got one option fight under Matchroom because she beat Ebanie. Not sure what's happening there. Right. But otherwise, she's also promoted by Lou DiBella. So.
Oh, wonderful! Was that part of your reason? Because when I saw she was in the stable, I was thinking, okay, was that part of what drew you to the promotion?
Yeah, exactly, because I just want to be in the big fights, and obviously the big fights with Matchroom were Ebanie and Shannon. They couldn't be made. Ludabella's got a lot of the girls around my weight.
How confident do you feel about the Yoshida fight happening?
Yeah, as long as she keeps her belt and I keep my belt, I believe that will happen very soon.
Because you said you're 2 fights from being undisputed.
Yep.
And that's incredible to think. You know, given that you've had those 74 amateur fights, you know, the 6 pro fights to date, you could be undisputed world champ.
Yep.
Can you see Yoshida happening in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Hopefully. That's the dream. I mean, since I won my world title, all I've wanted was the...
All you want is a fight. Every
unifier.
Every interview you're in, you're like, I just want to fight. I just want to fight.
Yeah. But unfortunately, them fights, it's been a long wait and them fights haven't been able to happen. But I've got a big fight against Cherneka. My sole purpose at the moment, I've just got to concentrate on that and make sure I get that win. But... yeah, as long as I get that win.
Feeling good? Feeling fit? Feeling
fit, feeling good. Well,
what date is it?
12th of May.
12th of May. Where are you fighting?
In Perth, Australia.
Oh, of course you are. Yeah. Because you're going to be going out there for a couple of weeks, right?
Fly out
just to get yourself ready.
It's a long flight.
She's Kiwi but represented Australia.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But feeling good, feeling confident.
Feeling good, feeling confident.
Yeah,
everything's going well. So I can't wait now to just get back in the ring.
It's a 5-fight deal, isn't it? With DeBella. Do you know who the oldest female world champ was?
I did see it. I can't remember her name.
So Alicia Ashley.
Yes, it.
Yeah, Alicia Ashley. She captured the world title at 48.
48.
She held it until she was 50. And she was beaten, and I watched her fight last night. She was 2 months older than Bernard Hopkins was when he won his lightweight world championship.
How old was Hopkins?
Hopkins was 48. When he won his.
Yeah, because I know he was quite old as well.
He was, but...
still out for me yet.
Well, what I'm getting to is Alicia was 48, looked great, looked really good in the ring. Even at 50, she fought. Do you know who she fought to and lost?
No.
Dina.
Oh, she lost to Dina,
She did lose to Dina, yeah. So Dina picked I forget which bout it was, picked that one up off of her. She won by points.
Oh, she actually won the world title off her?
She won the world title off of her.
Oh,
That's how she lost it. She won on points as well. So, it was a go and watch it. It's a really good fight.
Yeah.
She started boxing when she was 28, Alicia.
Oh, did she?
She did. So, how long can you go?
Obviously not forever. I don't see myself boxing when I'm 50.
You don't?
No, definitely not. As long as I feel good, I don't think you can set a time limit on it. Yeah. I think it definitely helps that I started later because I've got less miles on the clock.
That's the thing. That's exactly what I mean. She was 28 when she started.
I think if I'd started when I was 12, it'd be a different... Your body, you put your body through... the wear and tear, what your body's been through for all them years. But I think...
You got any injuries? You got anything...
I have little niggles and stuff,
but nothing serious. You never had anything really serious?
No. I know now to listen to my body more. Yeah. I know when to rest rather than training through certain things.
I think that's partly the experience of the experience of being that bit older. If you were offered a crossover fight, would you take it? If there was a lot of money,
how much money is
it? Is it literally? Do you think it could come down to money?
Yeah, obviously, if someone's going to offer you ridiculous money,
what is ridiculous money in female boxing? Like Alicia said, it's very depressing to know that females fight for a title fight that can be anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 when a male's 6 figures minimum.
Yeah.
Is that still roughly 3 to 10k for a title fight? Is that what we're?
It's more than that.
You'd hope so.
For a world title, it's more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because that was a few years ago that she said that.
Yeah.
But I guess again,
I think now it's on TV. Obviously, back then because it wasn't televised, it's probably right. It's the TV being on TV. That obviously gives them more money.
Is it anything like 6 figures?
I think some women are on 6 figures, but not many.
Right.
Not many at all. You got likes of Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Or obviously like Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. They're definitely 6 figures, but a lot of are still under 6 figures.
Talking about crossover fights.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. How do you feel about that? I mean, you laughed. So.
Do you know what, Matt? Mike Tyson is such a legend, but he's nearly 60.
Yeah, he's 57 years old, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't... Yeah, I hope Mike Tyson knocks Jake Paul out, but I can just see Jake Paul getting because no one wants to see a legend like Mike Tyson getting beat by a YouTuber. Mm-hmm. But I can just see it happening, so I don't want to see it. Yeah,
I mean, it's it's a car crash. Everybody's going to slow down to look, right?
Yeah.
It's that thing, and I hope that there's no underhanded.
You
we'll
don't know what's in.
You just don't know. It just
you don't
it's
know if
seedy.
it's all set up.
It's all exactly. It doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah,
Tyson,
no one wants to see Mike Tyson get beat by Jake Paul.
the problem child.
I think if Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, everyone would be quite happy to see that.
What's going to end up happening is, and it's frustrating because I know me and my friends will do the exact same thing. We're going to be like, and then you're going to watch it.
Of course you're going to watch it.
You're going to watch it
Everyone's going to watch
because
it.
you want that, and they know that, and that's the.
Everyone wants Mike Tyson to win, but whether it's going to actually happen, obviously Mike Tyson is prime, it wouldn't even be a contest. But
do you think it's a win for Jake Paul?
I actually do think it is going to be. Unfortunately, it's not what I want to see.
No.
I mean, I hope
we all hope for a 5-second knockout.
Yeah, I hope Tyson just swings on in and knocks him out. But yeah.
So one thing, I went to watch Sharon Davis talk last week at a festival about trans women in sport.
Yeah.
The US Boxing Federation have basically said that trans boxers over the age of 18, so they've gone through male puberty, are allowed to compete in female boxing. Have you seen this? News?
I didn't know it was over 18. Actually.
It was over 18.
I thought it was all trans.
Over 18, and there's a level of testosterone in 5 nanomoles throughout the period of desired eligibility. They has to be 4 years getting and quarterly kind of test to say, my testosterone is no higher than 5 nanomoles. Now 99% of female athletes have testosterone levels in all competitions have testosterone levels between 3 nanomoles, so it's almost double the allowed amount. You said that you already heard that. What was your initial kind of feeling on that?
I don't think it should be allowed in any sport, but let alone one that's actually dangerous. Even in running, swimming, you've got all the people complaining about it, and it's not fair. But I think with contact sports, where the physical strength of a male, whether they've changed over. I just don't think it's fair, and I just think it's dangerous.
So I think that I always want to come back to a point of kindness and a point of absolutely everybody deserves sport, right?
Yeah.
Everybody should be, but it's I just thought I'm speaking to a world champion boxer about a decision that's been made by a big organisation.
Throughout my amateur, I was always sparring kids, but still they're kids, and just they're not even men, and still there's just the natural strength of boys is a lot stronger than
the bone density and skeletal structure or
and these
lifetime
are young kids as well. So I don't think I think maybe they should create their own category, a transgender category so they can still compete against each other.
Sharon Davis was saying that there was a transgender swimming category created and nobody turned up. Which is,
it is hard.
I don't know what the answer is, but I know that it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair in swimming, let alone being punched, especially in boxing where there have been deaths, there have been people seriously hurt. Like, why would you want to take them risks?
I've got a game for you. It is. Have you ever heard that thing where it's like, what animal could you take in a fight? Have you ever heard this? Right. So. There are, and I'm going to ask for percentages.
Okay.
Right? What percentage of men do you think say that they could beat a chimpanzee in a fight? Now, this is daft, but honestly, what percent of men do you think?
70%.
Whoa, do you think?
Why did I not?
Christ. It's 15, but chimpanzees rip faces off.
I suppose. I was thinking chimpanzees are they the small ones?
Chimpanzees are like...
Are they the big ones?
Yeah, they're so strong. It's
completely wrong there.
I probably should have given you. Now you know that. So now you know that it's 70% of 15% of men that think they could beat a chimpanzee in a fight. What percentage do you think say they would beat a crocodile in a fight?
1%.
4. What if 20 people think they could beat up a crocodile?
I don't think anyone would think they could beat a crocodile.
Which is amazing. 3% say they think they could beat up a lion.
Really?
Yeah. This is legitimate stats. This is all YouGov stats. The base one I should have probably given you first was, actually, I'll ask you, what percentage of men do you think say they could beat a rat in a fight?
A rat?
Yeah.
I'd think most.
Right?
80, 90%.
77. There is a disparity between Brits and Americans.
Oh, really?
Perhaps unsurprisingly.
And higher or lower for what?
Well, what do you think? What do you think first before I tell you?
Americans think they can beat them more.
Oh yeah. And the only reason I said men is because women are like, no, I don't want to fight a lion. What does keep you boxing?
I think it's one of the sports that's really hard to give up. Like, I think coming to an end, it'll be a massive hole in my life. Like, I think.
Do you think you'll coach?
I think I'll take a break first. It'd be nice to have a break, spend time with my family, and not have them commitments all the time. I think I'll go into coaching like the amateur side. I don't think I'd go into.
You don't fancy pro coaching?
No, I think I just do it as a just enjoyment, bit of like the voluntary side, help out the kids. But yeah, I definitely think it's one of them sports that I think when people give up, they don't know what to do with themselves, and yeah, it's taken so much of my time up for so many years now that it'll definitely be hard to stop.
When you look ahead, what do you think? And you're not finished yet. You've got loads to achieve yet.
Yeah.
But what do you think you'll look back at and think, that was something I'm incredibly proud of?
Yeah, I think going on a GB squad and winning the world title are the two.
They're the ones that jump out.
Big things that obviously a massive part of my career and something I'll never forget.
And if you could go back to you at 26, just before you started everything, what would you tell yourself? Would you tell yourself to do anything differently? Would you have any advice for yourself?
No, I think I'd do everything still the same.
Exactly the same?
Yeah. It all happened really quickly. It all fell into. I've always worked hard at it, so there's nothing. I've got no regrets. I suppose the only regret is I didn't start a bit earlier at some point when I was inexperienced and I needed that experience. I wish that I'd started when I was younger, but everything. I do believe like everything happens for a reason, and I'm where I am now because of what I did back then. So. Yeah. Had I started when I was younger, would I still be here now? It's two different things. So.
And would you have any advice for anybody that, like yourself, is like, well, I don't want to promote myself in that body paint kind of way. I don't want to have, that's not me.
Yeah.
But I want the title fights. I want to, I want in 10 years' time, in a few years' time when you vacated them, haven't held them for a few years. What advice do you give to those people?
I'll just say never give up on your dreams. Like, I've always chipped away. Whether I didn't ever know if I'd get. I always believed I was good enough to win a world title, but I never knew if I'd ever get the opportunity. But I just thought I'm just going to keep trying. I'm just going to keep chipping away, and see if it happens. And just keep pursuing them dreams. Don't never give up.
If you can't unify, if you can't bring all the belts together,
yep.
Are you still happy?
Yeah, of course I'll still be happy with what I've achieved. Winning that world title was always the ultimate goal. Now I've won the world title. Obviously, you raise the bar and set yourself higher goals. I want to fight for unification and I want to fight for Undisputed. But if it doesn't happen, then I know I've always won that world title and I've always become world champion. Yeah.
So, do you think Dina, has there been any conversation there? Has there been a setup of, hey, if I win that from Yoshida, then
Yeah, definitely. I know she's up for it.
She is.
Yeah, she wants to fight. It's just a matter of finding the promoters to put the fight on and pay the money to put the fight on. So.
Yeah. So what does happen there from a business perspective? So promoter talks to promoter and says, hey, we get venue and then we'll share, the purses. X.
Yeah, it's just about being able to create money for the purse, obviously, because it's not widely televised. It's hard to create. You need a big promoter to be able to create the purses, to be able to put the big fights on. But if it's going to be an Undisputed fight, it should be massive. So.
Yeah, that would surely be TV. That would surely be...
That's why I think being able to get the IBF belt first, making that big Undisputed fight will make it that much bigger.
What do your kids say about you boxing?
Yeah,
Are they like, my mum's the hardest mum in the whole playground?
My youngest never really understood as much. My eldest asked a lot of questions, obviously carried my belt in. It's only this year, a few weeks ago, my youngest went, can I carry your belt in? It's time thinking, it's in Australia, not this time. Because I did ask him if they both wanted to do it, but my youngest didn't want to do it before. I think he was very shy. He was being younger, but he actually asked this time, and I was like, a bit far this time.
Oh, bless him. I've got an idea for your next face off. Just put as many clothes on as you can fit. Do you remember that episode in Friends where Joey comes in wearing everything that he's like, I'm wearing everything you own. That's what you should do. Go the entire opposite way. You'll be Australia. So I mean, it's summer there, isn't it? So you'll be.
It'll be their winter. Actually.
Oh, it'll be their winter.
It's still quite warm. I think it's still about 22 degrees.
Right. So just be pissing with sweat, but you'll be like, I'm doing the exact opposite of everybody else. Yeah. When do you leave for Australia?
28th of April, I think it is.
Look forward to it.
I can't wait now. Now it's getting close. It's coming around quite quick.
Are you going by yourself?
Me, my coach going for the first week, and then I've got my strength and conditioning coach and another coach coming for the second.
Nice. So do you think you're going to get downtime, or is it all?
Obviously, we'll have a couple of hours here and there in between, but obviously my main focus will just be on the training.
And do you come straight back after the fight? Or?
Yeah, day after.
Oh, no way.
Just because of my kids. I've been away from them for 2 weeks as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be the longest I've been away from them.
Are your kids especially proud of you, do you think?
Yeah, I think they are.
And your parents, they still?
Yeah, my parents are proud of me, even though they never liked the boxing at first.
Did they come and watch?
My dad does.
Yeah.
My mum's been once and she hates it.
She's like, no, not doing that again. Which fight did she come and watch?
My Commonwealth one, my third one.
Right.
Yeah, she doesn't ever watch on the TV. She just walks away. She can't bear to watch. But yeah, my dad watches and they are really proud. They might not like the sport, but they are really proud of what I've achieved.
I really, really appreciate you coming in. Thank you for answering my inane, silly questions and all of those things.
No worries.
Thank you so much to Nina for her time. Good luck on May the 12th. And thank you to you for listening, watching, subscribing, reviewing, all those good things. Go and follow us. I've already said where it is, social media-wise, at Starting Line Show on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Starting Line Podcast on Facebook, LinkedIn. 5 stars are lovely if you want to leave a review. I do read them, so much appreciated. Anybody that's written lovely things. As ever, agents, potential sponsors, anybody that wants to get in touch with anything interesting, I'm open. That's email hello@startingonpod.com. And until next time, thank you very much and goodbye.